Hi, everybody. Welcome to Wednesday. Happy Wednesday. I'm just doing a short clip today because it's getting close to August, and August is when we are going to be voting and going to the primaries. It is the primaries, August 8th through the 18th. And if you look up top, I've got it scrolling across the bar so that it can remind everybody to please go out and try to vote. So today, I just want to focus because we really need to be careful. This year, um, we've got great stuff going on for Florida. DeSantis put that bill in for the homestead taxes. I'm hoping that you're not listening to these politicians that say they're fiscally responsible, but they can't figure out how to balance our budgets. And DeSantis has done a great job with our budget. So if you go listen to his website, you'll see all the figures, you'll see he's done great. And there is no reason why we shouldn't vote for this. It's not taking out all of taxes. We're still going to be paying taxes, but it is going to be adding a great relief to homeowners with that homestead when it takes place. So ignore your politicians. And if you've got anybody running for office that is afraid to vote yes on the homestead tax, they are not the right person. They're not there to represent the people because, a long time ago, we didn't have all these taxes that we had to pay for. There were better ways to spend our money, and we still have better ways to spend our money. And we need to doge our county. We need to figure out what they're doing with their money that they can't figure out how to stop wasting it. And one of the wasteful um, committees that we have in Indian River County is the Children's Services Advisory Committee. And I say that delicately, okay? Yes, we do like to help our kids out. And yes, we do like to have programs to advance students. But we just went through several years of the school district failing us, failing our kids. As a matter of fact, the whole nation was a failure. They had to pretty much lower the scores just for schools to get A's and B's. And if you don't know what that's about, then you haven't been paying attention. So Indian River County is getting itself together in the school district, but we still have to continue to challenge our children, and we need to continue to focus on classical learning. That's what I grew up on. And teaching our kids how to read, how to think, you know, how to figure things out, deductive reasoning, all of that. That needs to come back to schools instead of all this indoctrination, which we're still seeing. We're still seeing people using kids to go out and protest and do all this stuff. When I was a kid, they did teach us, if you want to talk to your representatives, write them a letter. We actually wrote letters to our representatives asking them. They didn't tell you what to think. They told you what's important to you. What do you want to ask them? They let you ask your kid questions. They didn't try to get you to be a political kid and say, hey, this is going on, that's going on. They just wanted you to have the process of learning how to fill out an envelope and learning how to address a congressman. I didn't just write, "Hey, David," or "Hey, John." They gave you a little they wrote it on the board and they said, if you want to write to your congressman, you write to, or your governor, you write to Governor DeSantis, you put Governor DeSantis up top. And they showed you how to write a letter. They didn't show you how to be political. And we also did current events in class. And when we did current events, we just read about the topics and we talked about what we thought the topic was about. We explained, and they had us pick, you know, topics that were not like really controversial. Remember, we had the newspaper back then. Now they have social media and digital stuff. So it's election season, and this is really important, guys. You need to focus on not the hate, but what is good for the people. And what is good for the people are fiscal conservative representatives that are thinking about the people as well in mind, not just thinking about the contractors and the business owners. You want to help the business owners as well because we have a lot of privately owned family businesses here because we are a small town. And I love that. I love that. But we don't want to get sold out to these huge contractors that are coming, buying our land, building, building, building. And then when you look up and you got to find a job, where the hell is the job to help pay the bills? Because these new contractors are coming in and everything is getting expensive. So there's got to be a balance. And in my opinion, I don't feel like there's a good balance. There is not a good balance. And if we keep going this way, we're going to keep seeing more homeless every day. So, anyway, one of the things, like I said, was the Children's Services Advisory because the Children's Services Advisory is not a mandate. People think it's a mandate. They literally think, oh, that you have to have that. No, you don't. And there are some programs in there that I don't like my taxes being used for nonprofits, but there are some programs that I probably would not fight back on because I know they've been running a good program. But I really do think it's a better idea for people to keep the money in the pocket and to donate to these organizations and to see the product that's coming out of these organizations, whatever they're doing. If they really are doing a kick-ass job, people are going to donate because Americans are the most giving people that I know. And in these times, even in the hard times, Americans are still finding the change in their pocket and giving it up. And we have one of the most philanthropic communities. Everybody comes here. You know why? Guess what? You can get training on how to learn how to get a grant from that county because that's what they're doing now. CSAC has turned so big that now they're doing professional development for NGOs so NGOs learn how to ask for grant money. And who are they asking? They're asking us, our tax money. That's right. I don't agree with that at all. We have one of the best um, NGOs in this town that I volunteered for because I loved it. I mean, it brings me to tears the work that they do, and that is CareNet. If you don't know CareNet, you haven't been in this town long enough. They have serviced everybody from the ground up. I'm telling you, they have serviced people that are in government. That is, they do such a fabulous, loving, caring, passionate job that they don't need government money to raise to come. They get donations from the community, from people, because they are doing such a fabulous job, because they have touched every walk of life. They've touched the poor. They've touched the middle class. They've touched the wealthy that you know needed help and wanted to keep it private and wanted to keep it holy. You don't have to be holy to go there. They love you no matter what. And that's what all nonprofits should be doing. You know, they should be showing the results, the testimonies, the actual product that's coming out of what they're doing. Not just giving me a pie chart, not just giving me, you know, numbers and graphs and statistics from around the nation. I live here in Indian River County. I can't control what's going on in the nation. But by golly, if I can control what's happening here in Indian River County, well, shit, that's what I'm going to do. And that's what I'm doing here today because we have long term politicians in our county always running for office, but they look at us. They've learned to look at us like we are the purse strings. And when it comes to children's services, they haven't proven to me. They haven't proven to me the outcomes. Show me the students. Show me Show me the money which is in the students, right? Because if you are working with students, if you are working with early learning, all those people should be eventually graduating. I mean, they've been, Children's Trust has been around for 20 years, yes, something like that. And we should have testimonies by now. I don't see a whole lot of testimonies on that floor. I see more money, and I hear people like this gentleman that I'm about to show you talking about because you can raise the millage, we're going to do that. That burns me and it should burn you too because it's coming out of your tax dollars. When you have live on a street that still has dirt roads and you want pavement, or when you have a street that needs to have the dirt roads. I forget what they call it, but they put that gravel thing on top of it so that you don't have dust flying everywhere. I forget what they call it. When you've got stuff that needs to be done and they're talking about raising the bar on your purse, that's not somebody I want in office. I don't know about you. That's me. That's my opinion, but I'm just sharing it with you. So let's take a look at who I'm talking about. But this is not the only one, but this one can put that children's services, he can be one of those votes to turn it into a trust. Now, if you haven't seen my earlier video, episode 84, that's when I talk about the trust. He was in favor of a 12-term trust with 3 millage rate increases, and you would have no say in it. You, the taxpayer. Okay, let's listen. Yep, that's right. I went down to 2 municipalities that didn't vote on it yet in 2022 when I was running for county commission. And Bob McPartland was in there pushing it big time, pushing it. And that was for a 12-term trust. And let me explain real quick if you didn't see my earlier video. But once it becomes a trust, it's not just under the power of the county commission. Right now, the county commission could just phase it out if they wanted to. They could phase it out in 2 years if they wanted to. But when it becomes a trust, then it goes on the ballot for you to vote for it. It's a referendum that goes on the ballot to be voted on by the people. That's not for the people, really, not really, because we saw all these nonprofits in different states taking advantage, bringing in money. That can easily happen when you have a trust. Why? Because you don't have that tight oversight that you can have like we have right now. And they'll tell you something else. They'll tell you, "Oh yeah, those are lies. Oh yeah, we have a board." Yeah, but it's a trust. You can't get rid of it unless you vote on it again. And like I said in my earlier video, we are Florida. We've got people coming from all over the country and in these liberal states that have such high taxes, they pay taxes for everything. And then they come here, it's like they don't pay taxes here. That's how they feel. So when they notice a tax on their ad valorem, it's no big deal. So those people aren't really helping us in this fight. So I just have to share that with you. These are facts, and you can look at the timestamps at on the right, on the upper right corner of the video if you're looking at the screen, and you can pull it up. It's the county commission meetings, and that was the minutes that you just saw from the town of Orchid, and all the dates are there. You can look it up yourself. It's not a lie. So let's move on to the next video. I had a little fun with these. You got to have a little fun, right?
Good morning, Bob.
Appreciate that.
Good morning, Commissioners. Bob McFarland, City Sebastian. I've been sitting on the CSAC committee going into my 10th year, so you beat me, Peter, but I will catch you. And, I originally came to the meeting today, I saw this on there to say thank you, okay? Because I remember when I started on this committee with you, Peter, it was $600,000 is what was awarded every year, and that was abysmal, compared to, you weren't even close to doing the full eighth of a mil. So I originally came here to say thank you, because we're up to almost $2.5 million. And to remind you that next year you can go up to $250,000, which I'm hoping. First off, I want to apologize to the board about my ignorance. I sat on the CSAC committee since 2013, and I never knew how the sausage was made.
If you've never
Sorry, I
made
couldn't help myself.
sausage before, homemade Italian sausage, after this video you will be able to make fantastic sausage.
And again, it wouldn't matter.
I couldn't help myself, guys, I really couldn't. So anyway, I wanted to show you this as well. This is an article, Waste Management Fees to Increase by 15%, and it was done by Andy Hodges, September 14th, 2022. This was I'm telling you, this was a year for everything to increase, right? They tried to push the Children's Trust. Now you've got this. This started in Sebastian, and I kept telling people, look, if it starts in Sebastian, that's like the test run. Then it's going to be county-wide. So if people don't start complaining about it, it's going to be county-wide. And this was the trash. And I'm just going to scroll down really quick because I know, I'm getting this information. I just want to show you my opinion, right? This is my opinion. You have yours. I got mine. But when it comes to my representatives, I'm really looking for representatives that are going to represent me, my values, and not look at me like I'm a purse. And that's how I feel sometimes. They look at you like you're a purse and they try to make decisions for you. So here we have Councilman Bob McPartland is for the rate increase and said waste management has been a very good provider here in Sebastian. McPartland was very supportive of waste management and said some complaints are small potatoes. They're small potatoes. And then, but McPartland also said he's afraid of higher costs for the next contract after they bid. He believes 13 and 15 a month for trash pickup will be long gone. There's not many providers willing to do it based on all the costs they're talking about. So listen, is he fighting against it there? Okay, because that doesn't sound like a fight. Now, if you asked me and I was a councilman, I would say this is a bad idea. This is not a good idea. Not every We have a lot of people that travel from up north and down here where they don't even have trash during that time. Now they're going to be charged for trash. There's an argument that I would have put, but to me this statement is like a politician's statement. I'm going to keep it safe. I'm going to keep it safe. But he didn't keep it safe when he was talking about the Children's Trust. Oh, no, he didn't keep it safe. He let us know he was upset that the Children's Trust failed because, like he said, he wanted more money, and more money. He's going to take that millage all the way up if he can. And if you don't want that Children's Trust to end up on the ballot, make sure you know who you're voting for county commission because those were the people that were pushing it. And once it gets pushed on the ballot, the only way you can get it off is to vote on it. And just think about that, guys. How do you think people are going to vote? Because they don't really understand. There's a lot of voters out there that don't understand what that millage increase will do to their homes. Do you want to keep paying taxes? And have NGOs, nonprofit organizations that you don't even know. There's a couple of nonprofit organizations on there that I don't agree with. And if you wanted to ask me, you can always reach out to me and I'll tell you why. But we're not going to talk about that today. We're talking about this today because we have people running for office that call themselves fiscally responsible. And that is not fiscally responsible to take a Children's Services Advisory Committee, which is not a mandate, to take it out of that power and put it into that's like a contract. That's like a 12-year contract. You're going to tell me that you're going to have control over that contract when it's been put on the ballot, it was voted in? No. I'm sorry. You got me all wrong. You got it all wrong there. So anyway, I just wanted to leave that with you guys. I wanted to remind you, I'm going to play it because you guys need to learn about the Children's Services Advisory Committee. Watch it carefully. Watch the meetings. Watch when Megan Kendrick gets up there and see the data she puts up there. Is it Indian River County data and is it specific? Because it can be specific. You can have all kinds of students up there and you can put ID numbers and redact names. Is it specific? Is it telling you we tutored 5 students in math? At the beginning of the year, they were D's, and at the end of the year, they were C's or B's or A's. Are you getting specific information? Because I'll tell you what, if I could show you a pie chart and take your money, I will do that. If that's good enough for you to donate to me, and I because I know PowerPoint, I know all those programs. I can give you a very pretty, presentation if that's all you need to say yes, because I can do that too. I can blow smoke too. But I want to see specifics and take some of that out. We don't need $4 million going into Children's Services Advisory Committee. We don't need that much money. Our taxes should be limited. If you're for grants and stuff like that, then make them specific and keep it at a cap. Stop increasing it because everybody's going to come to this town and they're going to go see Megan Kendrick and ask about her professional development on how to ask for grants. And then they're going to end up standing there in the front of the county commission and in front of the CSAC committee and put their information together just the way the CSAC likes to see it. And guess what? Now we need more money because we have more NGOs. So just take a close look at it, guys. That's all I'm saying. Take a look at it. You're hearing it from the horse's mouth. He will keep raising that. I don't want somebody on the seat that thinks like that. I'll be honest with you. You know, I'm not going to tell you who I'm voting for right now, but I'm telling you right now, vote wisely because we've been watching what's been going on with our county and it's getting more expensive and more expensive and more expensive. And where do you want your money going? Do you want your money staying in your pocket? Do you want your county spending your money? Do you want to be forced to spend money? Why don't we have I asked them, why don't we have something for the veterans? Veterans have kids. No, I don't see anything on there for veteran kids. Do you? All right. Well, have a good evening. Happy Wednesday. I've got Lance Fisher with Thin Blue Lies tomorrow at 7 p.m. He'll be on and join us. Get on, ask him some questions. It's going to be a great show. Bye.